How's it going, everyone? So what I have here is a old carburetor for one of my Poulans, and what I'm gonna do is get it ready to be reconstructed and tested. This particular carburetor is very much like this one. This one is a 176A for the big Poulan counter vibes, and this one is a 168A. So this one is governed and this one is not. So this one is actually a pretty desirable carburetor versus this one. Now this one does run good. I plugged I plugged the governor there, and this is my good running carb, so I won't use this one. Now the one that is currently on the saw, matter of fact, I can go grab it right now. And this saw is actually under construction right now. It's actually not being used because I'm upgrading it a little bit. So what we have is parts from this carburetor here will be going to reconstruct this carburetor, and I'm just hoping that the reason this carburetor was pulled off wasn't because it was messed up internally. I'm hoping that all the passages and everything are still good in here, so I'm gonna pull it apart and look at it. But the main purpose of this video is I had people ask me about Welch plugs. So we're gonna mess around with Welch plugs today, and I'm gonna show you how I replace Welch plugs. Now, typically, before you start trying to replace Welch plugs, what you do is go ahead and break the whole carburetor down. I'm gonna need another one of these pump side screws, which I have some old carburetors that I can rob parts from. So we're just going to put everything in this Ziploc bag that's associated with this carburetor. Alright. We're going to remove. This one's missing a screw too. Obviously this was a carburetor they were just robbing parts from, which sometimes that means, you know, it's bad, because why else would they be robbing parts from it? Alright, so now we pop that off there. That goes in the trash. We're gonna blast this with air, clean it off. Slip that down in here. Alright. Yep, so we're good. Break this gasket off here. sometimes it takes a little more than that to get it off. That's why I have this glass scraper in here. Just rotate it around, try to square it up, get it flush. Try not to cut your fingers like I've done before. Go ahead and smooth that out. Another thing that's nice to keep around is a X-Acto knife. X-Acto knives are really good at scraping that off. I don't see mine, so I'll just continue to use this. And you can soak that and get that the rest of the way off. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep bothering with that. Alright, so one of the biggest things sometimes people don't get is there are two types of governing devices in these carburetors. There's the actual governor, which, make sure you can see this good. The actual governor is there, right? That's a ball and spring. There's another governor. Well, it's not a governor, it's a check valve is what it is. It's called a high-speed check valve. And it's right there. You see it? Sticking into the venturi. That's a high-speed check valve. So I'll show you what it looks like. You get you a little punch and a little ball peen. Go ahead and pop this there we go. Pop that side off so it's flat, and this will be cleaned in like an ultrasonic cleaner. This is a high-speed wafer check valve is what this is. It meters your high-speed circuit. So what happens is the very tip of your needle goes into this channel, right, and lets fuel through this hole here. So the fuel goes through that hole into your high-speed circuit, and your needle lets fuel seep past the point into this little channel here down inside this little thing, and that's a wafer check. And once it just opens and closes while it's under load. Just helps regulate there are these things exist in regular carburetors, but they're actually cast into the body of the carburetor. This is just a removable piece that they come up with that you could replace if it malfunctions, instead of it malfunctioning down inside the carburetor. Alright, so this is what we were wanting right here. That there is what they call the whatever they call it. I don't know. I done forgot the name now. Welch plug. That's what it is. It's a Welch plug. Okay, so let me find one. I took my Walbro side out, digging through everything yesterday. Another video. So I'm gonna put my Walbro stuff back in, and we're gonna find us a Welch plug. Alright, so this is what a Welch plug looks like that's before it's been installed. It's just a disc. So I take a little drill, small as I can get, and there are 3 holes right across the center of this thing. One there, one coming this way, and then one going into the low speed. So I'm gonna angle this back in this corner, so that way if I punch through and actually hit the base of that well, it doesn't damage anything. Get it started, and I just go slow. There we go. Pop through. Doesn't take much. And ideally you don't want it to jar through and hit the bottom. Ideally. I did. There's not much I can do about it. So I get a gasket hook or something, and I stick it in there. And just pop that dude out of there. It's like that. See those 3 holes I was talking about? Now, matter of fact, you can see all 3. There's 2 there, and the third one is angled back, I think. Yeah. Here we go. One, 2, and then this third one's right back there by the line. Alright, so now this disc sits perfectly in there like that. You see it? Doesn't move. Now what you do is you take a wide punch. You don't want a smaller diameter punch, because that will make it, what that'll do is that'll end up caving it in too much in the center. what you want to do is you want to ripple it, right? You want to ripple it out so it wedges itself up against that orifice, or this metering well here. So you take a big punch, put it right on the crown of that Welch plug, and you just tap it. Alright. And what you're looking for is you're wanting to get it flat, kind of mashed flat, even with that well. That way you know the sides have mashed into the side of this basin and it's gripping it good. Now some people will go even further and put a nail polish over the top of it because it's it's resistant to fuel, and they'll put nail polish over it to make sure it gets a good seal. So another thing, another advantage you get by doing this way is you look at your high-speed circuit and you can see that's clear. It's clear all the way to there, and then we saw that all three of these passages were clear. You can see smooth through to this passage here, so we know that all of our passages are clear. We should be, and fortunately, let's see, this screen here doesn't even look like it has a whole lot of debris in it, so it was kept relatively clean. So we will be rebuilding this carburetor in the near future. Another way to check is another little trick without pulling your carburetor all the way apart. You take WD-40 and you stick it in here and mash it, and you'll see it bubbling out the high-speed check valve there, and then you stick it in the low side, and then you'll see it coming out of your low speed jets right there. So alright, that's all for today. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope I helped somebody out. Y'all have a good one.